Welcome, first-time listeners and returners to the Sports Deli. The Sports Deli is sponsored by SportRx. You can go to sportrx.com and enter the code DELI10. That's DELI10. All right, let's do it. John, you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, let's rock and roll. We're joined by Heath Bell, former Major League Baseball All-Star. He's a three-time All-Star. He's married to his amazing wife, Nicole, and a proud father of four. He's currently coaching youth baseball down in Texas. His cousin is former Duke basketball player Eric Meek. He wears a size 13, and you can find him on Instagram and Twitter at HeathBell21. Welcome to the Sports Deli, Heath.
Heath.
Hey.
I feel like we're in a Psycho movie right now. We're looking at the ceiling fan.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
I'm at my mother's house.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I can get you on the naughty list, is what your shirt says. Did I read that correctly? That's outstanding.
Very nice.
This is my hat.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
My kids got me that about a year ago.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Great.
Awesome stuff. So you and I have something in common. You played junior varsity baseball in high school as a junior.
Yep.
And so I just want to ask you, because for me, I played junior varsity baseball and basketball as a junior. And I got a lot of crap for it. And they're like, what's the point? And I was like, man, I just want to play. And so I don't know how it was viewed when you were playing, but I think it's amazing that you did that. But talk about, what that was like for you to have to do that. Maybe your friends were on varsity at that point.
Yeah, just about all my friends were on varsity. I got an opportunity to be on varsity and probably not play or go to JV and play all the time. And I chose to play all the time.
What did you learn from that? And what are you doing now from that experience to make it great for these kids?
If you want to hear my story, that nobody ever thought I was any good. I just always focused on the field, just did my job, work on my pitches, trying to get people out and, just let it go from there.
And your dad was in the Marines. What lessons did you learn from him?
Never to give up. You can, so many things, but he told me this one story that always stuck with me. Your body might break and your body's going to tell you no, but your mind can say, keep going, keep going. So he just always put that positive attitude in me. And, after high school, I had no colleges interested in me and I wanted to enlist in the Marines like my dad. He took me out to breakfast the next day and he said, I'll drive you. Took me out, talked me out of it and said, go to college, just try.
Keith, looking at this upcoming season, am I crazy that it could be a potential strike coming up?
Everybody's trying to make money.
Sure.
The owners want to make money and they're not going to make money unless people are at the stadiums.
And one of the things I think is killing the game is, I think Tony La Russa's destroyed it.
Now, if you're going to bring in your closer in the eighth inning, he should be the eighth and ninth inning. I just don't see closers nowadays. Closers are different breeds. That's the easiest way I can say it. They say it's like the screws are loose somewhere. Right. And I think my wife would definitely say there's something loose with me. And I believe nowadays they're not built the same. Like Tony La Russa, and I believe some of the stuff he's done has ruined the game, like the clock and all that stuff. But I mean, Johnny Franco was a different breed. Trevor Hoffman was a different breed. Billy Wagner was a different breed. Closers that I knew, and then Papelbon, myself, Broxton, they're just different. Even Jansen, that's still in LA. They're just something different about those guys than everybody else. Even though there's guys in the bullpen that are super good and super great. I mean, there's guys, I don't want to name names because I did this when I played. I named names and then they got really mad at me, but
come on.
Well, okay. I'll name one name because I already named him once a while back. Okay. Kyle Farnsworth, that I think is phenomenal. He has one of the filthiest pitches in the game and just a dominant pitcher, but he could never close.
When you lose it in New York, can you ever really get it back when you come from outside, or are they just better off cutting their losses and trading him to the Texas Rangers, where he can probably go back and save 45 games that don't matter?
It's like Philly fans, man. They would boo their own team if they're not doing well.
What was your favorite stadium to play in?
And the fans would jar at you. Fans would always like, hey, Bell, what you've had about 4 cheesesteaks today? And I'd yell at him, no, I've had 5. And, they're like, oh, then they would yell at me. It's like, you want a beer? Yeah. Where are we going? After the game. So it was always fun to jar at, where like LA, one time we were in first place and they were in last place, and it was like, you guys suck. And I was like, yeah, but we're in first, but you suck. And I'm like, okay. There was no fun there. Where Philly was always fun to jar back and forth with the hecklers.
As long as they weren't throwing batteries at you. Yeah.
They liked me because I would go have beers with them.
Right. Exactly. That's awesome. So say you threw 4 consecutive balls when you entered the game as the closer, and your pitching coach or maybe the manager in certain situations would come out in a crucial game. The minute you saw the coach take that first step up the dugout, were you like, God damn it? Or were you like glad he was coming out and you needed to be calmed down a little bit? So you talked about the guys that you played with, and I know before games or in between games, you didn't know necessarily if you were going to be pitching that day. You love to shag balls. In the old days, you were a first baseman and third baseman, right? So
yeah,
talk about how much fun you had when you shagging balls, and you wish you could have been an everyday player.
How nuts were you going in the World Series when Kevin Cash takes out Snell when he's given up like 1 hit and is on fire, and everybody, and the only person who didn't want to take, who would not have done, was Kevin Cash. So you get hired to work in the commissioner's office. What would be the one thing you would recommend the baseball needs to start doing? You're never going to correct everything overnight, but I mean, you would have, I think you might agree that the league is falling behind basketball and football and even hockey on some levels from the rating standpoint. What does baseball need to do to get back where they were a few years ago even? Okay. Do you think part of the problem is the ESPN obsession with always having the Yankees and Red Sox playing, even sometimes when the games don't matter, but that sounds great, but you're not exposing the other players and the other teams out there? Like,
you talked about, you played with Adrian and Piazza, Hall of Famers, Trevor and Maddox. And, I used to love watching them. I'm from Detroit, Alan Trammell, Sweet Lou, a lot of the old Tigers. And so now, who do you enjoy watching the most? John, do you have a Heath Bell card?
Oh yeah, Heath's in my somewhere. It's there somewhere. I should have looked for it.
I'm a common card. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm just interested, in your opinion, and share with people that are listening to this. We're in 13 countries already, and we've had a lot of people listening from different walks of life. What could we learn from your experiences in the locker room with people that have different political views, different upbringings, from different demographics, that we could all learn from to help move this country forward?
Yeah, but you always have that brotherhood. Like any player that I've ever met that's played professional baseball, not even just the major leagues, professional in baseball, I've always had a respect for. Going back to 42, Pee Wee Reese used that one part where he was back in, I forget what team they were playing, and they're all booing Jackie because he was he's from the South, Pokey Reese.
Yeah.
And he put his arm around him, and they all hated him, and they were like, what? He goes, I just want him to know that you're my brother. The white and a black guy back then was really controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're my brother. I'm going to go to battle for you because you're my friend. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. So
your daughter has Down syndrome. And so I just wanted you to talk a little bit about her and how amazing she is, and what you've learned from that experience with her as a dad.
But there was a couple years ago, we needed to change it to Up syndrome because they're the most happy, loving kids that I've ever met.
Yeah.
They'll get mad at you, but literally they'll turn a 180 really quick. It's almost like you give them a hug or you say sorry, and they've totally forgotten about that. They don't hold grudges, and they just love. They want to incorporate everybody.
Right. Exactly.
They don't care about the spotlight.
Let's get to the this or that. John, you ready? Buckle your seatbelts.
Yes.
All right. Let's rock and roll. Okay. Trevor Hoffman or Mariano Rivera? All right. Here, you ready, John? We're going early today.
Okay.
French toast, waffles, or pancakes? Would you rather cuddle with a rhino or an elephant? All right. Food in San Diego, or you just moved to Texas recently, or food in Texas? All right. Would you rather hold hands with your wife or wrap your arm around her when you're walking? Would you rather have breakfast in bed or bring your wife breakfast in bed? Okay. Linkin Park or U2? Black Sabbath or AC/DC? Okay. Pink Floyd or Rush? Okay. And then Led Zeppelin or Queen? Okay. Randy Johnson or Greg Maddux? Hey, I was going to ask you about pranks. Was he the biggest prankster?
Yeah, but you never knew if he did it or not. He'd never tell you.
That's so great. Oh, man.
I'll just tell you one thing that he did that every ball player would know, and this is to be true. You never showered next to him.
Okay. Pedro Martinez or Roger Clemens? Yeah. Scooby-Doo or The Simpsons in your era? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Transformers? All right. So pronunciations. Do you say envelope or envelope? Mobile or mobile? Caramel or caramel? Moneyball, Field of Dreams, or Bull Durham? Mission Impossible or Die Hard? Okay, so who's the toughest hitter you ever faced? More a Rambo or Speed? Okay, Rambo or The Matrix? Okay, so you have a fantasy camp, and John and I are attending your fantasy camp. Who's got the most potential? Awesome. All right. Well, anything else you want to share with everyone who's listening today? And we really appreciate you taking the time out. You're our first Major League Baseball player to join the Sports Deli, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, I just want to say thanks for having me, and really quick, I'm not going to try to move it too fast, but remember how you said I used to take my kids to school on a bike in the very beginning? Yes. Well, I'm at my mom's house, and she basically has a shrine room of me. But it's true.
Wow.
There's me when my kids were young. And that's my mom, dad, and my kids. Except I had one more after that.
That's nice.
Wow. That's
cool.
Awesome.
Heath, real quick, have you ever thought about going into doing color commentary with like Padres or any? I'm picking the Padres because you played there and in All-Star there or any of those, because how you talk is how baseball needs to be talked about instead of it. And I'm not knocking it going on right now, but there seems to be the passion that's there is what's needed in the booth and what's needed on these shows instead of it being more scripted, if you will.
So honestly, if I get an opportunity in the next 2 years, I'll probably jump on it. I think that would be really fun.
No, I think you'd be fantastic at it. I mean, I just can see the passion. And I think I'll be honest with baseball needs more of that, coming through the screen and coming over and how you can relate everything to the common person, but also be able to talk to the fan who follows it, I think is fantastic.
Well, I appreciate that. And hey, if you hear anything open, let me know. I'll go interview.
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
Well, it would definitely help the game, and that's what it's all about. So we'll push for it whenever we can.
So,
all right. Well, thanks for taking time. Thank the family, and say hi to everyone for us. They don't know who we are, but say hi to them for us, and we'll stay in touch. We appreciate you.
And stay safe.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yep, stay safe. All right. Thanks, Heath.
I mean, not a knocking. I mean, not that he's ever going to come on the Sports Daily, but I have no time for Alex Rodriguez.
Right.
I don't need to hear about Alex Rodriguez and where he went out for drinks with J-Lo the night before. That's not why I'm watching baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah, baseball's totally screwed up.
It is. Yeah, I agree. Well, it starts with leadership. So
I agree. So
and people just want faster paced, things. MMA, boxing even. Still.
Well, I mean, I think Heath talked about it. The problem is the mindset's changed. You don't see, not even Tom Brady, you don't see a normal quarterback saying, you know what, it's the fourth quarter, we're down by 14, I might get injured, why don't we bring in the backup, we're not going to win today. Yeah. The pitcher, it's in the sixth inning, I pitched 89 pitches, I'm 22 years old, I signed a $5 million contract, I think I need someone to come get me. And people hate that. I mean, like I said with Jimmy Butler, I mean, you don't see Eric Spoelstra pulling Jimmy Butler out when he's shooting 40 times and trying to carry the team to another game. And
but in all fairness, you do have load management, though.
You do. Not with Jimmy Butler, but some of the guys.
No, well, that was the.
I know you're right. You're completely right. My friends were just texting me today. Apparently, it just came out. I think the Russell Westbrook John Wall trade is going to be horrible for the Wizards. Yeah. I think they're going to regret that trade. And it just came out today that Russell Westbrook and the Wizards have announced he will not play in any back-to-back games all year.
Yeah.
How can you know that in December that you're not going to be ready to play back-to-back games? And that's why.
Yeah. Well, he's just not a great playoff kind of player. He's going to be great for stats during the regular season.
Yeah,
It's not his game.
He's a modern day version of World Be Free.
Without kicking his leg out.
Yeah.
All right, what else? Anything else going on? We're getting ready for the college football playoff here pretty soon. Ohio State got a pass.
Ohio State with 5 games. Thank you.
Wow.
And so I hope Northwestern beats Ohio State. I want to go on the record right now.
It's not going to happen. They're going to get blitzed.
Of course they are. They're Northwestern. How about your Conference of Champions? Conference of Champions.
Whatever.
With the 3-2 Oregon Ducks.
Jesus Christ.
Because the other team has too much COVID. Nice league, nice conference.
And you wonder why the West Coast gets no love.
The West Coast gets no love because here's the problem, and we need to bring them on. We need to bring the Pac-12 commissioner on and explain to me how you are a major conference without a TV contract.
Yeah, it's true. It's ridiculous.
I mean, why do you have the Pac-12 after dark? You know what the Pac-12 after dark is? It's nothing. Nobody watches it. It's the whack. That's what it is. It's BYU Boise on a bad night. The other thing is we got to get the co-author, well, not the author, because of the new John Thompson book coming out. We need to get that guy on because there is an excerpt for when John Thompson talked to Rayful Edmonds, who's the biggest drug dealer in D.C., when Alonzo Mourning and John Turner, 2 of his players, were hanging out. And it's a phenomenal read. I read that chapter today in ESPN. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Interesting.
So, yeah. Okay.
All right. Great job. See you in a couple days. Good job, bro.
Wait a minute. Yep.
Thanks again to Heath Bell, former Major League Baseball All-Star, for joining us here in the Sports Deli. Again, you can find him on Instagram and Twitter at Heath Bell. Heath is Heath, Bell, Bell, the number 2, the number 1, at HeathBell21. And remember, you can always send us an email to thesportsdeli@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram at Mike Hootner and on Twitter at Michael Hootner. Thanks again to our sponsor, SportRx. You can find them online at sportrx.com or give them a call at 888-831-5817 and let them know the Sports Deli sent you for your 10% discount. If you're ordering online, be sure to put in the code DELI10, that's DELI10, DELI10 for your 10% discount. Until next time, thanks for joining us. For Dr. J, I'm Hootie Hoot. Remember, please mask up. Black Lives Matter. Peace.